Aaron had kids and he hit rock bottom. His son was born, he gained weight and he felt self-conscious about the way his body was changing. He looked at his other dad friends and didn't want to end up like them, gaining weight and not being very happy with the way they look. He'd wear clothes to try and hide his love handles. Looking in the mirror was emotionally draining for him. But the most frustrating part was he had no idea where he needed to start. He didn't think he had time to train or eat well, because if he was training, then his wife was left with the kids and he felt guilty. But he hated the fact he jiggled on the stairs. All he wanted was to be closer to his pre-kid weight and have the energy to be the dad he wanted his kids to have. So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what we did to go from this to this. And from here, he's gone on to do multiple half marathons, a marathon, a muscle gaining phase, and he's made so many memories with his kids that he wouldn't have been able to do if he didn't lose his dad bod. I'm Chris, I've been in the fitness industry for 14 years and I've helped hundreds of dads like you lose their dad bod and build a body they're proud of that can keep up with their kids. If you want to do the same, I've got 4 weeks of free email coaching that you can grab via the link below. In there, you'll get all of the information and tools you need to lose 2 to 4 kilos in 4 weeks. When Aaron signed up with me, we hopped on a call, I got to know him, he filled out a few questionnaires. The first thing that we needed to tackle was reframing how he thought about exercise. He thought it was selfish, taking time away from his family to go and train. So instead of putting him in the gym, he bought some dumbbells and I've created a program for him to do at home. He would wake up at 5:30 a.m. to train before anyone else in the house would wake up. Now you're probably thinking, Chris, I can't train at 5:30 a.m. That's way too early, I'm so tired. And well, we also fixed his sleep, which is something I'll touch on later. But what Aaron found is when he would get up and train, he had more energy for the day. So even though he thought he'd be more tired, he ended up having a better day and having more energy throughout the day because he exercised. Let's talk about those exercise sessions. At the start, he only trained 3 times a week for 30 minutes. And like I said, he had dumbbells and he trained at home. We did 3 full body sessions each week. He would send me videos and I would give him feedback on his form. So number 1, he knew he was able to do it safely. And then number 2, he had the right intensity, because if you spend your time training, that is a signal for your body to change. But if you train with enough intensity, and most people don't. And so he would send me these videos, I'd let him know it's safe, give him some cues so he could feel the muscle a little bit more, and then give him rep targets so he knew how many he should be doing. The result is he trained harder than he'd ever trained before, and the results show. We also worked on his nutrition. The problem Aaron had is he relied on convenience too much. So the first thing we did was start preparing meals. I asked him to track his food so he'd understand how many calories were in the foods that he would eat. He quickly realized when he would snack on crap, he would waste so many calories that could be put towards good, nutritious foods like fruit, veg, lean protein. We found 2 or 3 meals that worked for him for breakfast, 2 or 3 meals that worked for him for lunch, and we made sure we had enough calories for dinner so that he could eat with his wife and his son. He found the tracking quite insightful. His knowledge for nutrition before he started coaching was little to none, whereas now he understands what protein is, how much are in different types of foods, what carbohydrates do in the body, what fats do in the body, and he can pass this information onto his son and his daughter. His kids know more about nutrition than most grown adults, which is pretty impressive. And that alone is going to change the trajectory of their life, because they have a better understanding of how to be healthy than most adults, because we didn't get taught that in school. There's a really annoying corporate saying, what gets measured gets managed, and we can circle back around to some more. That's another annoying one. But the reality is true. So we had a coaching log in which he tracked different data points. We tracked weight, steps, training sessions, protein, fats, carbs, and calories. This information meant we knew high level what we needed to tweak in order to keep making progress. We'd talk about the details. So if I said we need to increase protein, we could look at his MyFitnessPal and we could look at how he could actually increase protein. He wasn't left on his own to do this. And that helped his physical health. But we also used it to help improve his mental health. Like any dad, he had a few wobbles as we went through the process. And one thing we realized is when he'd have a wobble, his screen time on social media would go up. So for different periods, we started to track this. That way we could keep a finger on his pulse for mental health. And if his screen time started to creep up, we could address it and find ways to bring it back down. As he lost fat and he started to like what he saw in the mirror, we had to change our focus, because if you do fat loss properly, you can't lose fat forever because you'll disintegrate into dust. And that's when we changed the focus from fat loss to performance. And then we completed a half marathon, a marathon, and then a lot more half marathons. But we also had periods where we focused on building muscle, because as we get older, we're going to lose 5 to 8% of our muscle mass every single decade. If we can build muscle right now, we have a higher starting point, which means we can wipe our own bum for a lot longer, which means we can wipe our own bum for longer before we need someone else to do it. And I don't know about you, but I really don't want anyone else to have to wipe my bum. Aaron had so many unique problems and challenges in his life that we had to overcome. But that's where coaching came in. Coaching isn't just a training and a nutrition plan. It's weekly check-ins where my clients will tell me about their life, what's going on, the problems they're having, the mental battles they're struggling with, and we find solutions for each, and I give them the confidence to tackle it and to stay on track. You might have tried to lose fat many times and failed, and it's probably not because you don't know what you're doing. You probably do. It's because you don't have that accountability and someone who can help give you perspective to get through those challenging times. If you're fed up of yo-yoing and you want someone to help you break through and build a body that you're proud of, then email me and let's chat about coaching. Thanks for watching.